Hey, everybody. You can help us make Chris DeMakes a podcast even better by telling us a little bit about yourself. Go to surveymonkey.com/r/JDZ3HL7 for a quick listener survey. It only takes a couple minutes and it helps support our team. To show our appreciation, we're giving away 2 $50 gift cards to lucky participants every single month. Head to, go ahead and grab a pen, surveymonkey.com/r/JDZ3HL7 now for your chance to win.
K-pop Demon Hunters Haja Boys Breakfast Meal and Huntrix Meal have just dropped at McDonald's. They're calling this a battle for the fans. What do you say to that, Rumi?
It's not a battle. So glad the Saja Boys could take breakfast and give our meal the rest of the day.
It is an honor to share.
No, it's our honor.
It is our larger honor.
No, really. Stop.
You can really feel the respect in this battle. Pick a meal to pick a side.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
At participating McDonald's while supplies last.
Here, kitty kitty, we've got a special one lined up for you, as this is our 300th episode here at Chris DeMakes a Podcast. Today's guest is bassist and lead vocalist Chris Ballew from the Seattle, Washington rock band, the Presidents of the United States of America. Together, we break down the writing, recording, and inspiration behind the lead-off single, Kitty, taken from the band's self-titled, major label debut album. Chris is a three-peater here on the show, having been here to break down Lump in April of 2022, and again 2 years later on April of 2024 to break down Peaches. And man, this song had me howling laughing as I combed through it. The absurdity of grown men all meowing, purring, and doing their best to emulate the sounds of a cat together is pure fun. Yes, there was a real live cat for inspiration, as well as copious amounts of weed and, cough cough, other things. I mean, come on, it was the 90s. All I hear is a band jamming together, making art that is pure, unfiltered, and fun. This isn't a cut and pasted musical computer project. Nah, just three friends making noise for the sake of making noise. And that is beautiful. So stick around and let's get weird. Meow.
Hey, hey, have you heard? Chris DeMakes a podcast. Hey, hey, have you heard? Chris DeMakes a podcast. Hey, hey, have you heard? Chris DeMakes a podcast. Hey, hey, have you heard? Chris DeMakes a podcast.
Back for the 300th episode, Mr. Chris Ballew. I'm so honored to have you back. Thank you.
Oh, thanks for having me. It's nice to be asked to be anywhere these days.
Hey, buddy, I feel the same way. The minute people stop wanting to talk to me, I'm going to have a problem here. So you are always in the best of moods, a great conversationalist, had so much fun talking to you about both Lump and Peaches. Lump was our 100th episode on April 25th of 2022. You came back for episode 200 with Peaches on April 1st. We got him on April Fool's Day, April 1st of 2024, and you're back now with the song Kitty. That was the first single released from the President's self-titled debut album, which came out on March 10th, 1995. And you were so kind as to send us some demo versions of this song, and this song never really made me laugh back in the day. I guess I don't know how to, it was, I liked the song, but getting it under the microscope here, I've been laughing. It's some of the meows just absolutely crack me up. We're going to get into it, but before we do, did you guys just laugh the whole time you were doing this at the absurdity of making the meows and stacking them up? It's hilarious.
Yeah, we really did. I mean, the whole point of making, of recording at all with that band was just to have fun. The whole point of the band was to just entertain ourselves, make ourselves laugh. And by extension, we're like, well, we're human beings. Other human beings will probably also like this. But, that's where it kind of stopped as far as ambition. We were just like, let's, keep from being bored on a Tuesday and book a show. And that means all this other gears have to turn, and suddenly you're not just watching Star Trek for the 800th time, smoking a bowl, at 11.
Right.
In the 90s, which is what we had to do, or play video games. Play the shareware version of Doom.
I watched a lot of Deep Space Nine with our bass player in the 90s. Yeah, doing exactly that. But I mean, this was your major label debut. You guys opened the record. The first track out of 14 is this song.
I know. I know. I don't really remember the logic behind that, but I think it was sort of, I want to say, kind of like a litmus test. Like, if you can get through this song, then you'll be okay for the rest of the album.
I think I said this to you last time. I feel like the 90s were the perfect decade for a band like Presidents. It was the weird, wacky 90s, and this just sat right in there. Didn't at the time didn't seem that weird, but what a fun track, and it kind of foreshadowed things you did later. Your project, it's a children's musical project, Casper Baby Pants, and we'll talk about this at the end of the episode. And congratulations, you've been featured on HBO Original Music Box documentary recently. Happy and You Know It, which was about children's music, and you were featured because of the Casper Baby Pants. So that's really cool. Congrats.
Yeah, I was very flattered to be asked to do that, because there's a whole galaxy of kids entertainers that are active. I haven't been active as Casper since 2020, but the albums are out there doing what I intended them to do, which is bring parents and kids together to enjoy the same song. So they're just, I guess the music has a presence enough that they asked me to do it, even though I'm not currently releasing stuff. But Kitty and Dune Buggy both feel like proto Casper songs for sure. Like the chemistry in the Presidents was this balance, this dialogue between innocence and innuendo, right? It was like, is it just about a cat? Is it just about a peach? What is Lump about anyway? Like ambiguous adult sort of, references on top of a very innocent kind of core ethos. So yeah, the Casper thing was me just removing the adult wink wink part and just doing the innocent core part of the whole chemistry of songwriting. So I love those two songs as proto Casper songs, and I actually toyed around with doing a record where it's like Casper does Pusa and then Pusa does Casper. So which would maybe dovetail in with this other project we've always talked about, which was to do an album with Queens of the Stone Age. So it'd be Pusa versus Pusa and Pusa.
I totally get it, because my brain works like that too. Play on words all the time. I drive my friends, my bandmates crazy. So I get it.
I know. Fortunately, I'm married to a beautiful human being, Kate, who is right there when I say something weird. She just like repeats it and we just like go. So we are blissfully weird together.
You found your perfect linguist mate.
I did. She's like my Ringo, actually. During the Casper years, she would say things like, Ringo, the legend is, he said, tomorrow never knows. And he said, it's been a hard day's night. And all these pithy little things. So Kate chimed in with a few of those for the Casper stuff.
That's awesome. Now, those demos that you were so kind to send over to us before we started rolling, did they appear on the President's demo tape Froggy Style, or are these different ones?
Different, yeah. Froggy Style, that's a band performance. So what I sent over is a long version, which I think is the moment that the song was born. And that was in a loft in Cambridge, Massachusetts on Norfolk Street. 288 Norfolk, if you care.
All right, I do. We're documenting this.
Google map it.
Yeah.
So Mark Sandman and his roommate Amy lived in this loft, and somehow Mark was generous enough to let me also move in and sleep in kind of an empty part of the floor of that loft building. So I was living with Mark and Amy for quite a while, and we would have, just impromptu jam sessions. And Amy had a cat named Chima, a black cat. And a weird spelling, it's ChimbuE, I think. But it's pronounced Chima. And Chima was famous for kind of like purring and walking around your leg and kind of like saying, hey, I'm available if you want to pet me and stuff like that. And then you'd reach down to pet Chima, and 9 times out of 10, she'd like take a divot out of your hand.
Okay.
So the stage was set. We were sitting in the living room. I think I had a banjo, and I can't remember, Mark had a 2-string or a 3-string bass or something. I don't know if it was just me and Mark or Amy was joined in too, but Chima came in while we're playing and started doing that thing, that purring invitational stamp. And I'm busy playing, so it wasn't a question of whether I was going to actually pet Chima, but I did start saying, kitty at my foot and a wall and a touch it. And that was the moment of the birth of the song. And so one of those pieces I sent you was a 4-minute and 8-second long form. And I think what it was I recorded it on 1 track of a 4-track, and then I added to it later. So it's got this kind of, basic performance, but then I added extra banjos and, vocals and stuff.
Kitty at my foot and I wanna touch it. Kitty at my foot and I wanna touch it. Kitty at my foot and I wanna touch it. Kitty at my foot and I wanna touch it. Kitty at my foot and I wanna touch it. Kitty at my foot and I wanna touch it. Kitty at my foot and I wanna touch it. Kitty at my foot and I want to touch it.
And then there's an edit of that, like a 1:28 edit that Dave Dieter and I used on a 4-song demo cassette that we used to send around to clubs when it was just me and Dave. Jason hadn't joined yet. In fact, we were kind of like, we don't need a drummer.
We'll do this on our own.
Yeah. And we were playing through the same amp, through the same cabinet, because it was less stuff to haul. Throw
it in the hatchback. That's all we need.
It was great. Well, at one point, the cabinet, quote unquote, the speaker cabinet was an acoustic guitar case with a hole cut out of it and a speaker mounted in it. Because when I left Boston and moved to Seattle, I didn't have room to bring my amp, but it had this big plywood cabinet with a 15-inch speaker. And so I dismantled the cabinet and took the speaker out and dismantled the head and just took the guts. I didn't have any room in the van for the actual amplifier, so I just took all the entrails.
I'm over here grinning like the Joker, Chris, because I'm flashing back to the 90s and loading my gear into the side building of these dingy, bars we'd start out at. And you'd look over at some band, there'd be a dude over there with exactly what you're saying, like an old acoustic with a speaker or something. Like, what is that? And it's like, that's what he put together. It's what he's got,
Yeah, it's what we had. We had no money. We were just like, well, I've got this old guitar case and this speaker. Let's just cut it and put it in there. So anyway, those two. Now the shorter one I think has been on I think when we did a 10-year anniversary or 20-year or something, we've repackaged the debut a couple times, and I think we've released that one on those repackaged bonus track. But the long form one never seen the light of day, so this is a exclusive debut.
I love that. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. And I'm wondering, your songs, some of them, the singles, Peaches was way shorter. This song was 3 minutes and 23 seconds. So it's as bizarre as it gets. I'm wondering what you cut out of it. So I'm looking forward to hearing the.
Yeah. Well, no, those are two totally different things. Like the one you're looking at on the album, that's the band just doing its thing.
Right.
And then the 4-minute and 8-second version there's no verses in that one. It's just the chorus and then some jamming on banjo, and then it's real raw.
I hear you mentioning banjo a couple of times. Are you going to tell me there's actually banjo in this track, the live track, or no?
The original one, the ones I sent you, yes, banjo.
Yes, but I'm talking about the album track we're going to talk about today.
No banjo.
Okay. I was like, there's no way that's what I'm thinking is a guitar panned off right if that's a banjo. Okay. Well, that's good to know. I want to get into this song because there's so much to comb through, Chris. It's 3 minutes and 23 seconds. We got a 16-bar intro. That's the chorus progression. It's really sparse, but it's so interesting. Drums, bass guitar pan off left, and a big fuzzy guitar panned off right. And then this is followed by, after those 16 bars of the band rocking along and setting things up, by itself, just vocals, we get a meow, 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 meow.
Yeah.
This part, the more I listened to it, it was driving me crazy, Chris. I'm laying there in bed last night, I'm going, what song am I thinking of? Did you think at all, or did you take any inspiration from Black Dog by Zeppelin? Every time
Probably.
I'm hearing the meow, meow, and I'm like, oh my God, it has like a Zeppelin
meow,
thing.
Meow, 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 meow. Yeah, it's kind of like a... yeah, you're right. It has like a sort of Zeppelin-y kind of vibe, even if it isn't Black Dog specifically. But you could be right. I mean, at that time, at that phase of my songwriting, I was wearing my influences on my sleeve. I was like, sort of sampling, not sampling the audio, but just vibe sampling all kinds of people. Like, Lump was my wannabe Buzzcock song. Mach 5 was a wannabe Kiss song. There were all kinds of references, at least in my head. So It could have been self-conscious, but I love that connection. And it's Black Dog, Kitty. You got the dog and cat.
Well, what's funny is I don't hear any other Zeppelin reference or there's nothing else that reminds me in this song at all, except for that. And I thought that was great. And then we get 3 meows after that. It's multiple voices. One's like a higher pitch. The one voice that kills me is the scratchy one. It's not the pretty meow. It's it's the
Jason.
cat. Yeah, it's the cat that's a little aggravated. Like, feed me, man.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Jason definitely. Dave and I have these kind of Kermit the Frog voices basically, and Jason gave us that like animal from the Muppets growl.
I said this on Peaches and Lump, what I love about this record. And, I've went back and just re-fallen in love with your band. I mean, this record in particular, it feels off the cuff. And from talking to you, a lot of this stuff this was not recorded to Pro Tools. And I can hear things in here that I'm like, that sounds like a mistake, but I think they just left it in. And it's so good.
There's a fundamental mistake, like quote unquote mistake, I guess, or just lack of awareness or lack of finesse. I was hitting my instrument so hard that it was going, it was like, because I had 2 strings on a guitar and they were a little too fat for the guitar.
Yeah.
So I was constantly going out of tune, and we just left it in because it kind of had a rubber bandy kind of loosey-goosey vibe, like a, the line we were always trying to walk was caring deeply without appearing to care at all.
Yes. The 90s shoegaze angst, walking that line. It's just so good. Well, there's some cool things happening. It's kind of the running theme because we get into what is basically the verse progression during this meow part that's happening. We get sparse, light hi-hat. Is that a cowbell? That's what I'm hearing, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. When we took away Jason's cymbals at the beginning, we gave him a cowbell and woodblock.
Okay.
Or maybe he provided them. I'm not sure where those came from, but anyway, that's a
woodblock. It almost sounded like side stick on a snare that happens later.
Might be, but definitely woodblock and cowbell were part of his arsenal back then.
You had to dole out the percussion as the song built. That's awesome. Yeah, you can only have this at the start.
Yeah, totally.
Well, the bass guitar, again, is panned off left. The guitar's off right. They're both noodling around. And yes, I did write that we got some side stick on the snare here. And this takes us in to verse 1.
A little bag of bones Can you hear 'em scratching at the screen door? Can you hear 'em scratching at the screen door? Little bag of bones been out all night. He needs some petting and loving on his head. He needs some petting and loving on his rain-soaked hide. He's circling around my ankle. He's circling around my ankle. He needs some petting and loving on his hide. Hey, kitty, won't you come inside? Kitty, I'm a foot.
Meow. Little bag of bones been out all night. Meow. And then we get another meow. Little bag of bones been out all night, followed by a meow. Another meow. Can you hear him scratching at the screen door? Meow. Can you hear him scratching at the screen door? Meow. Little bag of bones been out all night. Meow. He needs some petting and loving on his head. Meow. Another meow. He needs some petting and loving on his rain-soaked hide. Another meow. He's circling around my ankle. Meow. He's circling around my ankle. Meow. He needs some petting and loving on his hide. Kitty, won't you come inside?
Poetry by the presidents of the United States of America.
Little bag of bones. So was the cat skinny?
No, Chima was well fed.
What's the little bag of bones mean?
Chima was also a she, so I was using Chima as a jumping off point for sure.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it just sounded good. Little bag of bones, like a skinny little, like I was kind of more imagining like a mangy cat. Actually, I was maybe thinking about this cat that my mom rescued off of a highway, like a bad boy. That might have been that year or a year before that time when the song was starting. And she tried to nurse this cat back to health, and it had kidney failure, and it lost an interest in grooming, and it was all like greasy and skinny. And they went on my mom and dad left me to look after their place, and I had to give this cat dialysis every night and like stick it with a needle, and it bit my finger and ripped my finger open. I was trying to give it its thing. So I might have actually been channeling Freeway. That was the cat's name.
Chris, I'm picturing this happening the day after you were crawling around on acid and under the peach tree.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, I might have been channeling Freeway more than Chima at that point.
Okay, fair enough. Well, again, we got all these meows. They're all over the place. And I just picture you guys in the studio just cracking up. And I want to talk about the instrumentation now, because this sounds like a band that's just kind of grooving. Were you piecing together takes? Because again, nothing from the verse is lining up musically really with the second verse. They're kind of the same parts, and we'll talk about that. There's different feels and things, but did you have everything mapped out, or were you kind of feeling your way through this? That's what I feel. I feel like it's kind of a jam in these verses.
Yeah, it is kind of. And I think that we were just going with what felt good. Like I think Dave in the early days was a big proponent of let's settle in a groove and not, have everything condensed and opaque and full of, I tend to want to fill the sonic landscape and then tighten things up and make it really chunky, and I don't know what the best word is for it, like every space filled. And Dave was more like, let's find this groove and let's just be in this groove. So I think we were kind of, angling toward Dave's suggested aesthetic that we just kind of, and Body is the same way on that album. There's a lot of just being in the groove. And I think some of that too was when we did those songs live, we kind of would settle in and not, fill every space, and people would kind of get into that, like, take a break and just sort of like enjoy this while we kind of get our bearings.
Yeah, this does not sound, what's the word?
Produced.
Well, yeah, just pretty and put together in major label. It sounds like a band that's in their garage that got a decent recording. It's really, that's the vibe that I get, and I absolutely love it. Drums, the bass off to the left, the guitar right. That continues from the intro. I'm hearing, at least on the first half here, like two vocals, one dry and one delayed. Maybe there's a third vocal here. Sounds like the third vocal comes in later.
Yeah, I might have been doubling the lead. That was something Dave also counseled me against a lot. Like, let's just get the one performance. But I love to double vocals. But we might have compromised and had like a lead vocal and then a double that was kind of in the ghosting in the background more than just like, the two at the same level.
Okay. Well, here's where the jamming comes in. After, can you hear him scratching at the screen door? The meow there. Right after that on the meow, I should say, is a kick and a crash. That line happens again. Can you hear him scratch at the screen door? On the meow, there's a kick and a crash. The next line, though, little bag of bones, been out all night. On that meow, it's a super light cymbal hit, like a ding. And it's almost like it could have been another cymbal. It could have been another cymbal hit with a kick, but you opted for that. It almost sounds like a bleed from a punch. Maybe that happened there. It almost sounds like that.
Yeah, it might be. But that's evidence of a thing that Jason was so good at, which is that he would drum as much as he would drum to the music, he would listen to the vocals and the lyrics and what I was saying. Like, that's him making sort of a sound effect of the kitty scratching at the screen door, psh, like
gotcha.
Kind of acknowledgement of that line. So I love the way he would listen to songs and drum to songs, which was almost as much about the story as the groove.
Gotcha. Well, on the next couple lines, he needs some petting and loving on his head. He needs some petting and loving on his rain-soaked hide. We get those light cymbal hits again. And I wrote a note here. This is the second influence. I gave you the Zeppelin one, but I don't hear this in any of your other music, but I get a Primus vibe here a little bit with the vocal delivery. Anybody ever told you that?
Oh my God. Are you kidding? Did
No.
I tell you the Primus story? It's not much of a story really, but it's like one of our earliest gigs was at the Red Roof Pub or Red Roof Inn in Tacoma, Washington. And we went down there and played, and it was kind of a disaster. It was like very few people. There were a bunch of like kind of, rednecky couples hanging out in the bar, and we're doing our thing. And the guys in the audience are just hating us, and the girls, their wives or girlfriends, are loving us and just super into it. And so there was all this like tension. And one guy, one of the disgruntled dudes went up to the stage and poured a beer on my distortion pedal, and just sort of like gunning for a fight. It actually felt kind of dangerous.
Oh yeah.
And then by the time the show's over, we're like, let's get out of here fast. And we're kind of on edge and feeling weird. And we're loading our stuff into the van. And this pimply-faced little, teenager came up to us and was like, hey, yeah, you guys are great. Obvious Primus influence. I'm not into Primus at all. It's too many notes, too much virtuosity. I'm not. Primus is fine for the people that love it, but I am not turned on by virtuosity at all. So that moment became sort of a legend inside the band, and we said obvious Primus influence till the very end. Like, just in the van, it would be a Tour Tourette's thing that we would just say over and over and over. And
I've never thought this before. Again, getting it under the microscope, I call it, and analyzing the song. I'm like, and it's not the busy, progressive, pretentious, like crazy, a million notes or anything. It's, it is what it is here, but just the vocal delivery and just something about it kind of gave me that vibe. And it's funny that you had that story. After the line, he's circling around my ankle. The meow, we get a snare and a cymbal. The snare drum comes. Hey, here's your snare. You can play this now. He's circling around my ankle. Meow. Again, it repeats a snare and a cymbal. And then he needs some petting and loving on his hide. The band stops right there, and we get Kitty, won't you come inside? That is by itself. With a swirling delay of voices, kind of circling underneath the line, Kitty, won't you come inside? Is that your other vocal that's going there?
I think those are vocals from the past where we recorded the band. During the making of that record, the way we default did it was just like we'd play the song in the room with vocals, and then we'd overdub. So there's ghosts on all the songs. There's ghosty weird shit from the basic tracking of the band.
Were you recording over 2-inch tape too? Sometimes you'll get bleed if you go over it,
This was 16 track half-inch, I think.
Okay. Yeah. Wow, it's such a cool effect. I don't know if you could even recreate that with delay and reverbs. It's really cool.
It's just the looseness of it. And it's something we lost later on, and then when we'd go to do the vocals, the lead vocals, Dave and Jason would be in the room too, doing some backup vocals. So there was bleed there, and there was kind of like this cheerleader, kind of vibe, like energy in the room was being captured because all three of us were in there. Later on, we kind of isolated, like, all right, it's Dave, time for you to go in and do your vocal, and me, time to go in and do my vocal. So we kind of lost some of that immediacy.
I can hear the spontaneity. I can hear the looseness of what you're talking about. It all makes it onto the recording. I've said that before, man. It's all about what you're going through mentally, spiritually. It's how's the bandmates getting along? Are you having fun? That all comes across. And this is just this whole song's a party.
I will survive in my Mach 5, in my Mach 5. I will survive.
Hey, everybody, don't go anywhere. We got lots more coming up with Chris Ballew after a few words from our sponsors.
Looking to elevate your music career? DistroKid is a digital music distribution service that enables musicians to distribute their music to online stores and streaming platforms such as Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music, Amazon, Tidal, and many more. DistroKid collects earnings and payments, sending them to you, the artist. With DistroKid, artists unlock a world of possibilities. From easily paying collaborators with splits, to securing your music with DistroLock, DistroKid covers all bases. Plus, you can promote your releases with Hyperfollow and create eye-catching visuals with a Spotify Canvas generator, all for free. But that's not all. Introducing the DistroKid app, now available on iOS and Android. Artists can manage their releases, view streaming stats, and withdraw earnings, all from the palm of their hand. And for those looking to perfect their sound, check out Mixia. With its simple interface and customizable mastering options, artists can make their music sound polished and professional within minutes. And don't forget about Instant Share, DistroKid's newest feature. Share large files securely with collaborators, producers, and more, ensuring your music streams at the highest quality. Ready to take your music to the next level? Download the DistroKid app and explore their suite of tools today. Plus, listeners can enjoy 30% off their first year by visiting distrokid.com/VIP/DeMakes. That's distrokid.com/VIP/DeMakes.
Pepsi Prebiotic Cola in original and cherry vanilla. That Pepsi taste you love with no artificial sweeteners and 3 grams of prebiotic fiber. Pepsi Prebiotic Cola. Unbelievably Pepsi.
This NBA playoffs with FanDuel, you're not just watching the playoffs, you're a part of them.
Steve's got the phone, opens FanDuel, and he's going for threes.
Be a part of the action on FanDuel. All customers get a profit boost every NBA playoff game day. 21 plus and present in select states. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or 1-800-MY-RESET.
If you've got spring fever, Lowe's has the cure. During SpringFest, make your landscape stand out with 3 free bags of Miracle-Gro 3/4 cubic foot garden soil when you buy 3. Plus, get up to 40% off select major appliances to keep clothes, food, and dishes fresh all season long. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 4/22 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. See Lowe's.com for details. Soil offer excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
This episode is brought to you by State Farm. You know those friends who support your preference for podcasts over music on road trips? That's the energy State Farm brings to insurance. With over 19,000 local agents, they help you find the coverage that fits your needs, so you can spend less time worrying about insurance and more time enjoying the ride. Download the State Farm app or go online at statefarm.com. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
You tell yourself, no one wants your college-era band tees. But on Depop, people are searching for exactly what you've got. You once paid a small fortune for them at merch stands. Now, a teenager who calls them vintage will offer that same small fortune back. Sell them easily on Depop. Just snap a few photos and we'll take care of the rest. Who knew your questionable music taste would be a money-making machine? Your style can make you cash. Start selling on Depop, where taste recognizes taste.
Hey friends, Chris DeMakes here. If you love Chris DeMakes a podcast and you'd like to help us continue bringing you great episodes each week, please take a minute to check out chrisdemakes.com. That's where you'll find our Patreon. Our Patreon supporters get instant access to hundreds of episodes of The After Party, our weekly bonus episode that people have raved to us about for years. You can also get ad-free, early releases of each week's episode of Chris DeMakes a Podcast, as well as unedited video versions of the show. Even if you're not sure if you want to sign up, you can go to chrisdemakes.com and sign up for a free account. We'll throw you a free preview episode here and there. We can't thank you enough for all the support. And if you have a few extra bucks and you want to help us keep the lights on, our Patreon is the way to do it. Head to chrisdemakes.com to learn more.
Hey, kitty, won't you come inside? Kitty, I'm a foot and I want to touch it. Kitty, I'm a foot and I want to touch it. Kitty, I'm a foot and I want to touch it. Kitty, I'm a foot and I want to touch it. Kitty, I'm a foot and I want to touch it. Kitty, I'm a foot and I want to touch it. Kitty, I'm a foot and I want to touch it. Kitty, I'm a foot and I want to touch it. Meow, 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 meow.
Kitty at my foot and I want to touch it. A kitty at my foot and I want to touch it. Kitty at my foot and I want to touch it. A kitty at my foot and I want to touch it. Kitty at my foot and I want to touch it. A kitty at my foot and I want to touch it. A kitty at my foot and I want to touch it. Kitty in my foot and I want to touch it. What more do you need?
Yeah, I wonder what I wanted.
Yeah. And we got, sounds like 3 vocals at unison and harmonies. It kind of sounds like it's going off on a harmony here or there. And there's a couple voices doing unison, not super lined up. The vocals are breathing there. Interesting musically here, though, Chris, I want to talk about. The music is the intro, but the intro seemed fuller. The guitars seemed bigger. Yeah. Now, when you get to the chorus, you would typically think songwriting, you're building the song, oh, the chorus, this is going to be bigger than the intro. But I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, I have a feeling you brought the instrumentation back a little bit because this vocal's pretty big.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were absolutely trying to, even though I'm saying the same thing over and over and over.
Yeah.
Vocal forward was part of our assignment or whatever in our minds. And that's actually why we took strings off the guitar and why we took cymbals away from the kit, was to make a sonic space where the story and the melody and the imagery could be as much part of a first listen as the music. So I think the idea was, I'm kind of trying to remember, but I think the idea was that at the beginning of the song, we come at it with all guns. So you think you're going to get this big rockin' song, and then boop, it goes down to like nothing. So from nothing, we didn't have to go all the way back up in order to we didn't want to go all the way back up because we wanted to leave space for the vocals. We had a philosophy. Dave had what did he have? He had a Ibanez tube screamer and a big muff. And so we defaulted to clean or tube screamer for most of the transitions between clean and distortion. And we'd save maybe like, I don't know, 4 or 5 spots in a set or on the album to employ the big muff and have it be just like, massive. So we were conscious of like not blowing that wad too many times.
Okay. It's really, you don't see that in songwriting too often. That you're going to pull things back for the chorus. Usually that's the biggest piece. I thought that was really, really cool and really interesting what you did there. And nice. It's so catchy. The subject matter aside, I almost say it doesn't matter what you're singing there, man. It's just, it feels like a party. I can't name a specific influence like Primus or Led Zeppelin, but I wrote here, I get like a little bit of a Southern rock thing here in the chorus, almost with the harmonies, like it's a little bit of satire. Like maybe you took a page out of the Rednecks and the Tacoma Bar.
Yeah, maybe. It's a little Skinnerd.
There's a little something. I mean, my band's from Gainesville, Florida, so we grew up on this stuff.
Yeah, well, my whole family's from Missouri, Central Missouri, and when I go back there and visit, it takes me like 2 days before I'm talking like a regular Missourian. And so, there's Back Porch. There's a song we had called Truck Stop Butterfly. There's outright country songs that we have sprinkled in, just like the Beatles did. Sprinkle the country. But yeah, I think maybe the twang on this one is a little nod toward those roots.
Gotcha. Well, coming out of chorus one, we go into a reintro. We get the meow, 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 meow from the top again, but this time there's way more reverb and effect on it than there was at the top. And I think that's just neat. It feels like the party's getting bigger. That's the only way I could describe it. That's how it kind of makes me feel there.
Meow, 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 meow.
Same overall instrumentation as the intro, but the bass guitar pan off left is noticeably louder, as well as the guitar off right, and the kick drum is now here with the cowbell, hi-hat, and side stick, and that all feels kind of maybe a little bit up in the mix as well. We get those 3 meows, and then the 4th meow we settle back into verse 2.
A pussy bird and looking so satisfied. A pussy bird and looking so satisfied. I'm lost in his little yellow round eye. Lost in his little yellow round eye. Pussy bird and looking so satisfied. Kitty rap and scratch me through my jeans. Kitty rap and scratch me through my jeans. Fuck you, kitty, yo, gonna spend the night. Fuck you, kitty, yo, gonna spend the night. Fuck you, kitty, yo, gonna spend the night outside. Kitty,
A pussy purring and looking so satisfied. Meow. Meow, a pussy purring and looking so satisfied. Another meow. Meow, I'm lost in this little yellow round eye. Meow. Lost in his little yellow round eye. Meow. Pussy purring and looking so satisfied. Meow. Kitty, rear up and scratch me through my jeans. Kitty, rear up and scratch me through my jeans. Fuck you, kitty. You're gonna spend the night. Meow. Fuck you, kitty. You're gonna spend the night. Meow. Fuck you, kitty. You're gonna spend the night outside.
Yeah. I had invited it in, and now I'm like, you're out. You're out. I never thought about that. There's actually a story arc to this song, believe it or not.
Did the cat, did he enjoy your jams? Did he just want attention?
God, I don't know. I mean, it's so unrelated or different than the jam with Chima. I don't know where I was going, man. I think I was just like, trying to figure out a good way to say fuck in a song. Yeah. And we actually beeped that out ourselves on our first release of the record, which was on an indie label called Pop Llama. We thought it'd be funny if we beeped ourselves,
Gotcha.
We got signed to Columbia. They insisted we remove the beep because I think it was like they thought we needed at least a little bit of edge to us, and we tried other words and nothing really worked. But in later years when we would play like state fairs and, kind of more family oriented environments, we would get to that point in the song and Dave and Jason would vamp and I'd get on the mic and I'd say a few different things. Like one was, all right, there's a swear word coming up in this next part of the song. And all the grown-ups are like, yay. And I'd be like, we're going to say it. And it's up to you parents to explain to your kids why it's okay to swear in rock and roll.
So you would do it. You'd actually say, fuck you, kitty. Okay.
Or I would change it to no fair. That kind of worked here and there. Or I would have the crowd do it. So we weren't doing it.
You weren't the bad guy.
Yeah, right. So you guys can do. Anyway, there were a few gags to get around.
Yeah, the older I get, I try not to lean on that word, even as just talking and addressing the crowd. It's so easy to default to the F word. It's just, you're nervous, you default to it, and I've had to try not to. But I will say, when fuck is used properly in a song, when you're saying fuck you to the kitty, it works for me.
I mean, it's tentpole of the song. It's the moment where everybody would be singing along, just like, fuck you, kitty. Oh, God, so yeah, it was just delicious. And, it was also like a nod to the Sex Pistols. In Bodies is the only song where they actually swear, where they're like, fuck this and fuck that. Fuck it all, fuck you, fucking brat. I don't want a baby who looks like that. You don't want a baby who looks like that. Buddies! Yeah. So that, and it's all punk rock ethos and everything, but one moment with swear words. So that kind of felt like we were acknowledging the Pistols' relationship to the word fuck as well.
I love it. And Bodies wasn't the first song on the record, so I mean, you guys got you got fucking the first track on your record, so you beat the Pistols as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, not only is the song like silly and kind of dumb and dynamically top heavy or upside down, but it's also the only one with a swear word.
That's yeah. Man, there's so many things in verse 2 that just, I mean, killing me as I'm combing through this. The kick drum continues for verse 2. The purring. There's a purring that is now going on left and right. I just wrote hilarious in down here in my notes. It is happening with the meows, and it's going left, right. You're hearing this growl. Like, again, the cat may be hungry. Maybe the cat's, a little perturbed by something, but when the purrs, and again, I've heard this song, but I never really analyzed it like this. And when the purrs came in, I'm like, oh my gosh, whose idea was that? Was it just building the song?
Honestly, I do not remember. I don't, it's funny, like you're listening to this song with these relatively fresh ears. When I listen to the recording, I'm I don't know. To me, I'm more like time travel back to that time, and I have all this like flood of memories. And I didn't notice that there was purring in that verse.
Oh my gosh. When the purring started, I'm like,
I think that's Dave. So Dave was in charge of the meows, and I think he got tired of the meows and started to purr.
Oh, absolutely hilarious. The higher vocal here, the higher vocal register on the stack of vocals is louder here in verse 2. The bass is playing a different feel here. It's the same notes, but the feel's different than the first verse.
Does it get kind of tighter and like funkier?
Yeah, it gets a little funkier here. Yeah.
You know what? Later, that moment of tight funkiness mutated into us sliding into Superstition by Stevie Wonder.
No, cool.
Yeah. So we would do Kitty, and then we would get to that point in the verse, and I'd just kind of boom,
yeah.
Hey, got Superstition. And because Black Cat is in that song, and Shima was a black cat. So anyway, that was a staple of our live show for quite a while. And the state fair in the 90s, the late 90s, the state fair crowds loved that because it's everybody knows that song and loves that song. Yeah.
Well, that's awesome, man. Yeah, it's, I think when you're writing like pop songs or dance songs, you're not going to mess with the bass groove probably in a verse. It might get a little busier, but not to what this did. It's very difficult. I feel because this song is so wacky in the verses that you could change it up, but I kept listening to this over and over again, Chris. I'm going, why does this feel different to me? I know the drum hits aren't exactly the same, but everything feels same-ish, okay? The band's jamming again, but then I zoned in on your bass, man, and you're playing a different feel. It's so cool.
Wow, that's great. This is making me want to listen to the song.
Oh, it's so...
But I do remember, yes, that I was kind of like, there's so few elements to our sound. There's just 5 strings and a little drum kit and vocals. And so I think we played with sort of hopping from vibe to vibe to kind of keep things moving along in a groove way or a musical way so that, you wouldn't get bored with, we didn't have a lot of colors in our palette.
Gotcha. Well, the next couple lines, we've got some cool stuff coming up. The cowbell as well is playing a different pattern here in verse 2 than verse 1. On the line, kitty rear up and scratch me through my jeans. The first time that happens on the line or on the word rear, there's an off-time crash symbol. It's really distant. Yeah. And again, it made me feel like that was a bleed or it was a mistake and you just left it in. And I love that about this recording.
That's so cool. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I have no idea why there would be a weird ghost of a crash unless Jason was like, rearranging his drums or something. I'm not sure.
Producer years ago said there's don't ever say it's wrong. There's no wrong in music. And I always really took that to heart because we're all unique.
Yeah. Well, just allowing what feels like a mistake in quotes, just be there, be okay. It's sort of like, seeing the fingerprint, seeing the process in a piece of art or something like the tape, or back in the day when I was, spending a lot of time doing art at the Kinko's, blowing things up and reducing things and making little album covers and stuff, I would always let the fingerprints and the tape marks ride, like let them be part of the
part of the art,
like seeing the sort of hands of the maker. And that's maybe sonically the equivalent.
Yeah, well, and the more that times went along, I hear him saying that producer saying, there's no mistakes, there's nothing wrong. And, how many times have you done a vocal where you're warming up and you sing a verse and then you keep singing and someone's just like, man, I think we had it the first time you sang it. It was a vibe that you haven't been able to, you're overthinking it. And sometimes our first guttural instinct is the best.
Yeah, man. That in the third verse of Lump, that bass, that real 4-string bass that does the whole figure thing.
Yeah.
I had no idea we were in record. I was just fucking around. And then the producer was like, okay, that's great. We got the bass. I was like, okay.
That's great. Well, on that line I was just talking about, the kitty rear up and scratch me through my jeans, the band stops and the line scratch me through my jeans. Well, we're now scratching on the strings with picks. We're doing pick slides left and right, making scratch. I never put two and two together. I never stared at the lyrics, listened to this song, and my God, I'm sitting here laughing going, they made the cat scratching sounds. Then the line happens again, kitty rear up and scratch me through my jeans. The band stops again, and we get the scratches left and right. And we also... buried in here way back, it's kind of buried like that symbol I was just talking about. We get like an off mic cat, like a meow in the background.
Wow. So weird.
It just killed me. It's like his buddies in the alley saying, let me in. It's 20 degrees outside, man. I'm freezing my butt off.
Oh my God.
I'm just sitting here picturing this going, oh my God. And what's great about it is I had a 4-track in the 90s. I used to make silly, stupid recordings. Nothing as genius as this. But the 90s and Dirtweed did weird things to us, didn't it?
Absolutely, man. We were, I don't know. We just never thought it would go anywhere. We just were like, why would we spend time editing out weird stuff? And why wouldn't we make weird noises in the background? Because this is just for us. So what the hell?
Well, and that's why people loved it, man. I'm telling you, you can feel the realness. You can feel that this is not contrived at all. When it gets down to the fuck you kitty, you're gonna spend the night. More voices join and kind of build up to finally, when you get to the outside, it's a gang shout by itself. On the first fuck you kitty, you're gonna spend the night. The meow there, I wrote here in my notes, getting ridiculous. And then the second meow there, it's just so ridiculous. It's not even trying to sound like a cat anymore. You can just tell.
Doesn't he say meow and then he says meow?
Yes.
Yeah. Exactly.
By that meow, I'm going, okay, they're just, at this point, it's so ridiculous that whatever goes there is gonna go there. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah, because the cat's like, really? You're saying fuck you to me?
You know who you're talking to?
Yeah, he's like the Travis Bickle of cats.
Well, a gang shout by itself is followed by a click of the bass guitar panned off left. And am I hearing like the reverb chain off to the right from it?
Yeah, I don't know. That might be me just like choking a note on the bass, like muting the strings with my wrist and just hitting like a more percussive kind of sound.
Gotcha.
I think so. That's
well. The reason I say because the bass is pretty panned on this track, or over to the left side, for at least what I'm hearing.
Yeah. Well, back at that point, we used to treat the two instruments like equals. It wasn't that I was playing bass and he was playing guitar. He was playing a git bass and I was playing a bass guitar. Mm-hmm. So we wanted them to sort of be two parts of this same thing. Later, of course, my signal got more like a real bass, and we'd pan it to the middle and put the guitars on left and right. But yeah,
I've never heard any other bands sound like this, though. I mean, you're almost treating these like your stereo guitar image, but it's anything but. It's so cool. But after we get that, we get into what's amazing is we get into only the second chorus. But this is a full chorus, and then we get a tag at the end.
Outside! Kitty at my foot and I wanna touch it. A kitty at my foot and I wanna touch it. A kitty at my foot and I wanna touch it. A kitty at my foot and I wanna touch it. A kitty at my foot and I wanna touch it. A kitty at my foot and I wanna touch it. A kitty at my foot and I wanna touch it. A kitty at my foot and I want to touch it. Touch it! I wanna touch it. I wanna touch it. I wanna touch it. Wanna touch it. Wanna touch it. I wanna touch it. Yeah, touch it. Get it, get it, get it, get it, get it, get it, touch it. Get it, get it, get it, get it, get it, get it, touch it. Get it, get it, get it, get it, get it, get it, touch it. Get it at my foot and I want to touch it.
We get all the same lyrics, and something I didn't mention earlier, chorus 1, another hook in this song to me is when you say, want to touch it, when it goes with the band. It goes with the hits of the band. And that happens again here at chorus 2. It's kind of staccato, and I really, really like that. It's something I never noticed before, but I really feel like it elevates this chorus. Drums, bass, and guitar are all rocking away here in chorus 2. It's a full chorus with an extended post-chorus tag to end the song. So after the first full chorus where we get to the want to touch it, it comes out here. The next lyric is touch it. I want to touch it. I want to touch it. I want to touch it. Want to touch it. Want to touch it. I want to touch it. Yeah, touch it. Kitty, kitty, kitty. Kitty, kitty, kitty. Touch it. Kitty, kitty, kitty. Kitty, kitty, kitty. Touch it. Kitty, kitty, kitty. Kitty, kitty, kitty. Touch it. Kitty at my foot, and I want to touch it.
Yes. Pretty clear what I want. I mean, if you don't ask for what you want, you never get what you need.
There is no ambiguity going on here, Chris. Not at all. When we go to the tag here, the post-chorus tag, when it starts with that touch it, the drums switch to the faster beat. It's double time there. The hi-hats cruising along. Whose idea was that to go there? It's interesting.
Boy, I don't think I remember the specific genesis of that. That doesn't exist I don't think, on the funky demos that we did or in the sort of birth of the song recording. Again, probably just trying to find a place to go that's unique so you don't get bored with our limited palette of sounds.
Okay.
And it's sort of showbiz, it's like ta-da, like ta-da. It's like a razzle dazzle, like at the end, kind of like, and that's all she wrote, folks.
That's a great way to describe it. And I misspoke earlier, Chris. I do have another reference of another rock star in here we're going to get to in a second. But okay. On the touch it, the drums switch, it goes faster there. And then on the first I want to touch it, when you say that, I wrote here a hilariously, and I'm assuming intentionally bad wailing vocal is going on in the background, a la Axl Rose.
Oh, yeah, that's Dave. He's going, right?
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
I think he was searching for the note. He's just kind of like, or I don't know exactly what he was doing. I never asked him about that, but that's funny. I do remember that aspect of it. And I think he's just kind of hunting around for what to do. Also, I think he's just like adding energy, just adding this like, oh, here we go. Yeah.
It's got to be the right song to do that. I couldn't imagine throwing a vocal down that on a song and getting it past my band. But for this, it works. It's perfect. And again, it's hilarious. It's not way out in front. It's back here, but it's something you do in a rock song at the end. You're going to get the high backing singers in there. And I just think it's great.
I wonder if it was another Led Zeppelin moment, like, dun, dun, that whole thing.
I didn't even think about that. That could be it. Well, on the fourth, Want to Touch It, we get another wailing vocal. So the first time it happens after the first line, it kind of peters out, and then he comes back and does another one. Then it's out when we get to the last kitty kitties. On the first kitty 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 touch it, the band stops. It stops on the second one. And then at the very last one, we get that hook again. The last 4 words, I want to touch it, with the snare hits.
Right.
And then we're done.
And then we're done, man. And then the crowd goes wild.
What a cool song. I mean, it's just, I had so much fun combing through this. It took me a while because, again, it's so easy to, and I've had some of them on the show, and it's no disrespect to these artists, but I've had some pop stuff or stuff that's what I would consider, maybe cookie cutter, Pro Tools. You're going to take this chorus and paste it and whatnot, and those are a little easier to go through. Okay, I've heard this, but something like this, man, it's just you can hear just all the nuances, all the little happy accidents and mistakes or whatever you want to call them. And it's perfect.
Yeah, that's great. I appreciate that, man. I think that's what makes that album work, is that you sort of feel like you're being let into some sort of, I don't know, you're being let into another world where what you expect will be played with and toyed with, and the casualness of it is sort of like intimate, like I don't think the listener feels like they're being sold a bill of, like a product. Like it's
yeah.
There was a point, actually, I remember, where I sort of had this record be big, and then we were kind of still touring and stuff, and I got to the point where I couldn't tell the difference between a new Green Day song and a Sprite commercial. It's kind of like, does the song exist so that you will pay, spend money on the band? Or is the song an artistic expression outside of economics? Because we definitely made this record outside of economics. Like, we made it as a piece of sonic, whatever, art, I guess. Art sounds like the wrong word, but
a documentation. It was for posterity, for yourselves.
Yeah, like a sonic document of what these three people sounded like at this time, and it was way more that as a motivator than, this is going to get us, on the radio. We never thought about that at all. And of course,
no.
And after that, of course, we thought about it all the time, and nothing we did after sort of all had that kind of casual, invitation into a private world kind of vibe. It was more like, you will buy this record and you will come see us live because this is the single.
I know. I've had to try to explain to fans before, and they've said it with the most pure, innocent intentions. Your early stuff, this and that. It's like, we weren't thinking. I can't go back to that time period. You guys could try right now. Someone could say, hey, go try to emulate the first record. You can't do it. You're not, the cat's not there, first of all.
Yeah,
okay.
First of all, yeah. I mean, it's like that famous interview. There's this little clip online that I see every once in a while. It's Ed Bradley from 60 Minutes interviewing Bob Dylan, and he's just like, those early songs, all those words, all that imagery, all that like poetry and rebellion and forcefulness in the lyrics, where did it come from? And Bob's just like, I don't know. It just fell out of me, and then it stopped, and I have no access to it anymore.
Yeah, I know. That's tough. I can relate to that.
But at least it was there. It was, to have been able to bottle that vibe at that time is fantastic. So what? We don't do it again. We did it once, and Bob did it once. We're all in the same boat.
Hallelujah to that, man. That's exactly it. Well, before we break, just thanks for being our 300th episode, as well as our 100 and 200th. And it's always a pleasure to talk to you. We mentioned earlier that you're recently been featured on HBO Original Music Box, and if you want to talk about that some more, or talk about what's happening, is anything going on with Presidents?
We are going to release a live album this year. Turns out that the guy that was doing our live sound back in the 90s recorded our quote-unquote last show ever at the Paramount on the 28th of January, 1998. And, of course, we broke up for 5 years, reunited, blah, blah, blah. But this performance was fantastic. And he kind of found it on a hard drive a couple of years ago and gave it to us. And we've had it mixed and edited, and we've got it all together. So that's going to come out this year at some point, somehow.
Okay.
The Casper Baby Pants thing is in the movie Happy and You Know It on HBO. That's cool. And it was a really great honor to be able to get in the fray and kind of talk about why I think kids' music is important. And it's a really good doc, actually. It follows 5 or 6 different artists and different issues, including goddamn Baby Shark.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. So that was, it's, be prepared if you watch the movie to have Baby Shark drilled into your head.
I'm going to get sharked. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, one of the stories is about that song and copyright issues and all kinds of interesting stuff.
All right.
And then solo-wise, I'm making these solo records. I've been putting out 2 a year for the last 5 years. And so album number 10 just came out a couple weeks ago. I'm just still riding a volcano of songwriting for that style. And then when that runs out, who knows what'll happen next?
Who knows? Lump will go viral on TikTok, and it'll be great.
Yeah, get a lump on your TikTok, and it's really painful, actually.
Yeah, I was going to say, how do we recoup after that? I think we got to end with that, right?
Yeah. Hey, kids, stay in school. Don't get a lump on your TikTok, and have a great day.
I'm in a velvety spell from oxygenating. Oh yeah, starting to get light. Oh yeah, starting to get
Oh yeah. Hey everybody, I hope you enjoyed that conversation once again with Chris Ballew, who has been here for our 100th, 200th, and 300th episodes. And I'm already going to try to book him for our 400th episode in a couple years. But also, the song you're hearing is Starting to Get Light from the album of the same name. So make sure you go check out Chris's many solo albums. And don't go anywhere. We got lots more Chris DeMakes a Podcast coming right up after a few words from our sponsors.
Membership means more with American Express Business Gold. Earn 4 times membership rewards points in your top 2 eligible spending categories every month, including eligible U.S. advertising purchases and select media, and U.S. purchases at restaurants, including takeout and delivery. What are you waiting for? Get the card that flexes with your spending every month. Terms and points cap apply. Learn more at americanexpress.com/business-gold. Amex Business Gold Card. Built for business by American Express.
Where is Daredevil? I'm right here. Don't miss the return of Marvel Television's Daredevil Born Again.
So what's next?
I feel liberated.
We're gonna take this city back.
Over medicated.
In an all-new season, now streaming only on Disney+.
They're hunting us. It's time we started hunting them.
I can work with that.
This should be tons of fun.
Marvel Television's Daredevil Born Again, now streaming only on Disney+.
With Sam's Club, you have the freedom to shop your own way. Curbside pickup? Delivered to your doorstep? Come in and grab it yourself? Yes, yes, yes. They've got plenty of options. Your call. Say yes to shopping the way you want. Join now at samsclub.com/yes and. You must be 18 years or older to purchase a membership, and membership is subject to qualifications. Visit samsclub.com/yes and for details.
I get so many headaches every month.
It could be chronic migraine, 15 or more headache days a month, each lasting 4 hours or more.
Botox, onabotulinum toxin A, prevents headaches in adults with chronic migraine. It's not for those who have 14 or fewer headache days a month. Prescription Botox is injected by your doctor. Effects of Botox may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away, as difficulty swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness can be signs of a life-threatening condition. Patients with these conditions before injection are at highest risk. Side effects may include allergic reactions, neck and injection site pain, fatigue, and headache. Allergic reactions can include rash, welts, asthma symptoms, and dizziness. Don't receive Botox if there's a skin infection. Tell your doctor your medical history, muscle or nerve conditions, including ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, myasthenia gravis, or Lambert-Eaton syndrome, and medications, including botulinum toxins, as these may increase the risk of serious side effects.
Why wait? Ask your doctor. Visit BotoxChronicMigraine.com or call 1-800-44-BOTOX to learn more.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities. So do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today. I'm told it's super easy to do at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
This Mother's Day, celebrate the woman who's been there through it all with Pandora Jewelry. Choose jewelry that reflects the love you share and the moments that matter most. Make it even more meaningful with engraving. A name, a date, or a message just for her. Because the best Mother's Day gift says more than I love you. It says, I see you. Find the perfect Mother's Day gift at your local Pandora store or tap the banner.
Do you like music, learning about good music, and laughing at bad music? Well, I have the show for you. I'm Chris DeMakes, podcast producer Chris Fafalius, and my One Hit Thunder co-host Matt Kelly and I are 300-plus episodes deep into revisiting one-hit wonders to decide if they deserve a second listen or should stay safely buried in your memory. We give every artist a fair shot, roast them when necessary, and when a band or artist is actually really good, we officially certify them Thunder, and maybe someday we'll even get around to sending out those notarized certificates. Basically, it's an incredibly fun music podcast, so smash that subscribe button on One Hit Thunder wherever you get your pods.
As we near the end of the show, here's a band you might not know.
Welcome to this week's Band You Might Not Know. If you'd like your band to be considered for Chris DeMakes a Podcast, email your best song via MP3 only and a short bio to bandyoumightnotknow@gmail.com. This week's featured artist is Mountain Climber, led by singer, songwriter, and multi-instrumentalist Jeremy Clymer, whose life and music have been shaped by a blend of small-town roots and a broad American perspective from his early years growing up in Columbus, Indiana. Here's a snippet of their song, Not Friends Anymore.
I used to call you my brother, but you're a stranger to me now. Time goes on, and the world still spins around. I didn't know when I walked out of your door. Not friends anymore.
The Wrap with Chris and Chris.
Chris, I don't even know where to start when we're talking about this episode because first and foremost, and I told Chris this the second you guys finished recording, I'm so inspired right this moment to get in a room with my friends and just make music. I think that's the biggest thing I take away, and I hope some of our listeners take that away too, just being inspired to go create something.
Yeah, and you talk about infectious and fun, wanting to get into a room with your bandmates. This makes me feel like that. All of the recordings, particularly on this first record from Presidents, just have that, like you're in a room with these guys are kind of messing around. It's off the cuff. Chris, when he said it at the end, he said, this is something, because I had mentioned to him, people will say, try to make a record like this or inspiration. You can't go back. So many things go into recording that people don't realize. I've often said that. You've heard me say, they sold the vocal to me, or I believed it. I believe in this song, or I believe in the subject matter. You can't fake that sometimes. And when he said that, it kind of struck a nerve with me because there's times when I'd love to go back to that Inspirato where we used to stay in the warehouse for 7-8 hours practicing the same song over and over. And yeah, you can't go back in time.
No, you can't. And it's funny. This song, of course, is pre-Pro Tools.
Yep.
And Chris talked about how sometimes he would even be out of tune because he's banging the strings so hard or whatever. All those little nuances and happy accidents are what make this band so good. It's what people loved about it and love about it still today.
Yeah, and you've heard us say it here before, you and I, about, you don't sit around listening to your music. Artists don't. Like, a lot of times we've had people on here, man, I haven't actually listened to this recording in 20 years. And I always reassure them, well, that's what I'm here for. I did it for you. But, when I got to the part about who's purring in the second verse, I mean, I absolutely lost it. And how many times have I've heard this song a ton, but to get it here and go through it as meticulously as I did, it's just hilarious.
It's funny too, because I feel like this is such a 90s thing. But when he said, we cared deeply without appearing to care at all, I was like, man, that really says it all, right?
Yeah, because you kind of got that feeling from a lot of bands. I think I used the term shoegaze, the 90s, the I can't remember, was the Lost apathy, the lost generation. I don't know what they called it, but yeah, the apathy of the 90s. And it seemed like these guys didn't care at all, but they were thinking about it, but going back to this time, I can smell the cat litter box, man. I can smell the dirt weed. They're passing a bottle around. They're laughing. Someone's meowing. Someone else is getting up to go to the fridge, get another beer. They're purring as they're going to the fridge. I mean, it's hilarious.
It's so funny because, as you know, Chris, I am a cat lover. I have 2 cats. Shout out to Zeke and Zoe. And I know exactly what he's talking about, where I'll be petting one of my cats. They'll be happy. They'll be content. And they'll be purring. And then all of a sudden, they'll bite me. And I'll be like, what the hell? Why did you bite me? It's just part of owning a cat. And I do have to say, Chris, that, man, I love Chris Ballew. I make no secret of that. I think he's an amazing guest. From what I know of him, of doing these podcasts, he's a super cool and interesting guy. And I even think 2 things. One, this is an audio podcast, so if you're part of our Patreon, you might see the video. But if not, you should know Chris was laying down doing this podcast on his back because he was doing this through a pinched nerve that he's dealing with. So not only is he willing to give us his time and even be uncomfortable to do it, also the story he told about taking care of his parents' cat and like giving it, what it needed. It had like medical concerns and like caring for this cat. I mean, these are just things that like, it's just a good person you're talking to here. I like knowing that music I love comes from a person that I think is like a really cool guy for what it's worth.
And I love going back and rediscovering bands. This band was definitely there in the 90s. They were on MTV. I was aware of who they were, and they were just kind of in the background. And I can thank this show for educating me. And this is a band that I truly missed. I took them for face value. I didn't look under the hood of the car and see really what was going on. And my God, are they great.
What I thought a lot about in this episode was, I hate to even bring it up, but in an era where you have like AI creating music and then you have like the threat of like AI creating popular music and stuff, it makes me appreciate a band like this like 20 times more. The fact that they have these imperfections, and there's something Chris said. He said their music is like the sonic equivalent of seeing the hands of the maker when he was making visual art and flyers and, tapes that they were making for their band and stuff. Yep. I just thought that was so cool. And I hope that there's a huge resurgence of that as a backlash to like AI created music and stuff.
All you need is a cat, some dirt weed, and an apartment with a bunch of friends, and there you go. I think you're already ahead of the game. But yeah, man, one of my favorite episodes in recent time was today, number 300. So yeah, pretty cool. And I know I sound like a broken record, but head over to ChrisDeMakes.com where you can sign up for our Patreon and get bonus episodes of The After Party, Defeat DeMakes, our very own game show where you can challenge me in a game of music trivia. Lots of fun. ChrisDeMakes.com. And I know you have a review ready to go for us, Chris. I hope they have a good handle, a good name.
This one today, this is from Apple Podcasts. It's a 5-star review, and it comes from Al G. Cali. Al G. Cali, who wrote...
Okay, does he live under the sea? Algae?
Yeah, I don't know. It's ALG Cali. So I'm assuming... I don't know if it's Alge Cali or Al G. Cali. I'm going with Al G. Cali.
What do we got from Algie?
Al G wrote, love these deep dives. I listened to quite a few music podcasts, but none are like this. Chris interviews an artist extensively about one of their hits and then goes piece by piece through the song. I love hearing about how the songs came together and inside information about the band. It's often quite a nostalgia trip because most of the bands are 90s pop punk and alt rock. And I was about to take exception to that part of it, Chris, but then we just did a 90s alt rock band, so I guess they're kind of right. But we do try to go all over the place with the types of songs and types of bands and artists. So there you go.
That's right. Next episode, we'll show him. We'll do some African Bambata.
There you go.
There you go. All right. Well, hey, thank you for the review, though. We appreciate them. Keep those coming. And head over to ChrisDeMakes.com. Like I said, it helps us keep the lights on over here at Chris DeMakes a Podcast. Want to thank Mr. Chris Ballew from the Presidents of the United States of America, for sitting in with us on our 300th episode, and we'll see you next week. Hey friends, have you been loving Chris DeMakes a Podcast? Well, spread the love by leaving a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Don't hesitate to share what you enjoy about the show in an actual written review on Apple Podcasts. Not only does it help more people discover us, but we often read reviews in the Wrap segment of the show. It's a quick, cost-free way to support us and takes just a minute of your time. Your reviews mean the world to us and help us keep the podcast thriving. Thank you for being a listener, and thank you for being a friend.
The right window treatments change everything. Your sleep, your privacy, the way every room looks and feels. At Blinds.com, we've spent 30 years making it surprisingly simple to get exactly what your home needs. We've covered over 25 million windows and have 50,000 5-star reviews to prove we deliver. Whether you DIY it or want a pro to handle everything from measure to install, we have you covered. Real design professionals, free samples, zero pressure. Right now, get up to 50% off with minimum purchase, plus get a free professional measure at Blinds.com. Rules and restrictions apply.
I sold my car in Carvana last night.
Well, that's cool.
No, you don't understand. It went perfectly. Real offer, down to the penny. They're picking it up tomorrow. Nothing went wrong.
So, what's the problem?
That is the problem. Nothing in my life goes as smoothly. I'm waiting for the catch.
Maybe there's no catch.
That's exactly what a catch would want me to think.
Wow, you need to relax.
I need to knock on wood. Do we have wood? Is this table wood?
I think it's laminate.
Okay, yeah, that's good. That's close enough.
Car selling without a catch. Sell your car today on
Carvana.
Pickup fees may apply.